Hi, everybody. Welcome to another weekly live stream. Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for supporting us with your participation and your presence. My name is Esther. I want to, again, thank you for being here. I'm so glad that you guys are all here. And I just want to remind you that Robin is in the chat room with us, and he's going to just help me try to answer all of your questions and just to provide support for me as well. I Today we're going to be doing the Q&A format. That's why I mentioned the questions that he'll be helping me, and I will try my best to answer all of your questions. You can ask me questions about myself if you'd like, but also it's a great chance for you to ask questions that are related to the lessons that we've gone over the past few weeks. Ask me any burning questions about English grammar. Pronunciation is okay as well. So, yes, please feel free to do that. And before we begin, again, I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. I would love for you to participate in the chat, um, you know, ask questions, leave comments, like the video after. That would be wonderful. And in order for us to continue making videos, Robin and I would also both appreciate if you donate and share with your friends and family. So, as you know, I've been gone for about 2 weeks, and that's because I went to Costa Rica and I just got back. And I'm feeling a little bit tired, but I'm doing pretty well. So, yeah, I just thought I'd like to share that. But first, let's see who's in the chat room today. And let me say hi to you guys. So, I see Just Chilmar. Hi, bright and early, my time. I don't know what time it is where you are. Let's see. Syed Hussein, hello. Bilal Imran, thank you for being here and participating. Um, Isa, hi. Thank you for being here. Taufik Fike, hi, Fake. How are you? Antonio Hernandez, hello. Thank you for being here. Harsha GN, hi. Thank you for being here. Sanderson, hi. I'm good. I'm doing well. How are you? Surjo Rongfar, hi. Fanny, how are you? I'm doing very well. I hope you are also doing well. Oh, Nico from Indonesia. Wow, nice to meet you too. I'm so interested to learn, where all of you live, what do you do for a living? All of that is really interesting to me. So the more you share, the happier I am. I'd love to see, learn about you guys as well. Harsha, I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. How are you doing? Again, thank you for being here today, and thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate your support and that you're taking the time out of your busy schedules to learn and to interact with me and Robin. Hi, Kunju. Um, so, yeah. Oh, Joanne, hi. Oh, you're saying hi to Lena. It's so great to see that, friendships are also forming here as well. So Robin asked me to tell everybody about my country. Well, I live in the US. Hi, Sleepwalker. I live in the US, and I'm sure, you know a lot about it because it's in a lot of movies. It's in the news a lot, right? It's a huge country, very big, 50 states. I hope I don't say anything wrong, any mistakes. Um, I guess, I was saying that I traveled to Costa Rica and it was just a beautiful, beautiful country. Is there anyone from Costa Rica in the chat? If so, please say hi. I'd love to talk a little bit about my trip. Um, so, yes, Costa Rica, I went for about 10 days and I traveled to a few different places. Oh, yes, and just a reminder that Learn English Live logo is Robin, and he's here to help me. And I might have said this before. If there are any questions that I cannot get to today because it might take too long to answer or it's very complicated, anything like that, we might ask you to please leave the question in the comments and we can try to get back to you at a later time. Thank you for your understanding. Okay, and Robin, it looks like he also had gone to Costa Rica in February. It was great. It rained here and there. I went to Monteverde and it rained a lot there. But because of the rain, the country was very green. I loved that. So much nature, a lot of animals, a lot of birds, and different creatures. Taufik, I'm from the US. I was born and raised in USA, in California. I was born in Chicago, actually, but I moved to California when I was 4 years old. And yeah, I grew up in the US, but my parents are from Korea. They are from South Korea, and they speak Korean. I also speak a good amount of Korean. Um, Genius Star. Hi, Tony from Lebanon. Wow, Lebanon. That sounds, I had a teacher from Lebanon in high school. Hi, Catherine. And yes, now that I've talked a little bit about my trip, oh, Joanne says 안녕하세요, which is hello in Korean. Yes, how did you know that, Joanne? Are you learning Korean as well? Marlis, Pachulik, hello. Okay, wow. Sanderson from Brazil and Sleepwalker. Wow, typing in Korean too. Very impressive. So, why don't you take this opportunity to ask me some questions. It can be about English. This would be a great opportunity for you to ask some questions. Um, and I can help you. Sleepwalker. But thank you for trying. So yes, do you guys have any questions? Maybe how to pronounce something, how to say something, which is correct. I get a lot of those questions sometimes. And oh, yes, Robin reminded me. Next week, I'll actually be going to Korea. This is some exciting news. I will be going to Korea to make some more videos with Robin. So be ready for some new content. And my next live stream will be in Korea. So we will talk a little bit more about that coming up. Okay. Um, so Joanne, you said that a lot of Koreans are living there. Where were you located? I forget where you. Did you say that you were? I'm not sure. Okay. Um, Suade asks, how is your how are you? Doing very well. How are you? And my English is very good. Well, thank you very much. I was born and raised in the US, so I grew up speaking English. Robin asked, do you love to teach grammar? Grammar is very difficult, even for me. You know that it's difficult to learn when it's difficult to teach, right? But I do enjoy teaching grammar. I think it's difficult, but it's fun. It's interesting to learn just how many rules there are. I think it's fun. How about you guys? Do you enjoy learning grammar? Syed, thank you for your question. When do we have to use didn't, doesn't, and don't? I mostly use don't. That's a great question, Syed. So we use didn't to talk about the past. We can say I didn't, he didn't, she didn't, they didn't, we didn't, right? So for example, we didn't like the restaurant. It's talking about something that you did not like or didn't do before now in the past, right? But doesn't and don't are for the present tense, especially something that is just a general knowledge, something that doesn't really change. But when do we use doesn't or don't? Doesn't is when the subject is he she or it. For example, he doesn't like pizza. She doesn't work. Um, it, like maybe the TV, it doesn't turn on. Okay. And don't is for the subjects I, you, we, and they. For example, they don't walk to school. They drive to school, something like that. I hope that answers your question. Carno, thank you for being here. I'm good. How are you? Sanderson, I live in California. I live in the US, but I am visiting Korea very soon. Oh, Joanne, in the Philippines. Yes, there are a lot of Koreans in the Philippines. You're right. It's great to learn English in the Philippines. I have some friends that lived in the Philippines. They are Filipino though, but when they moved to America, their English was very good. So I think that's pretty cool. Let's see. Sleepwalker, you said if I were you, I would dot dot dot. Can we use this in any case? Um, I think it would depend on the case. I think that phrase, if I were you, I would, that's more when you're trying to kind of give advice or give a suggestion. For example, maybe a friend has a dilemma, like a problem. I don't know what to do. It could be something small, like, should I order the hamburger or should I order the cheeseburger? And you could say, if I were you, I would have the cheeseburger because it's delicious here. That's one way you can use it. Or it could be for something more serious as well. Um, should I should I move into a house or should I move in live in an apartment? And then you could say, if I were you, I would, and then tell what you would do. Maybe you would live in an apartment because it's cheaper, or maybe you would live in a home because you have more space, right? So you're giving advice by telling what you would do if you were in the same situation. I hope that helps. And let's see. Oh, thank you, Tony, for saying that you like my pronunciation. I have heard that it's pretty clear. So I hope that you're hearing me clearly. Okay. Um, let's see. Joanne, yes, I also know that Korean dramas, K dramas, are very, very popular, right? Okay. Well, you guys, I really enjoyed those questions. I would love to hear some more questions. Okay, Taufik has a question about myself. What university degree do you have? Right? What university degree do you have? I have a Bachelor of Arts, so 4 years of studying psychology and social behavior. So I studied, the human mind and especially human behavior. Why do people do the things they do? I thought it was a great major because it's very interesting and I love learning about people and I want to help people. So I do have that bachelor's and I recently finished graduate school. So now I have a master's of science. So a master's degree in the US takes 2 years. Um, it might differ depending on the program, and in other countries, I'm sure it takes about the same time. I just finished grad school for school counseling. So, with the psychology and social behavior, and then the school counseling degrees, I'm going to be working in schools helping children. Thank you for asking. Sanderson, is there a method to learning phrasal verbs? Robin and I have a little bit of a different opinion on this, but um, you know, for me, I do think that TV and listening to music can be helpful, but Robin also has a great point that sometimes you learn the wrong English because a lot of popular culture uses slangs. So I think, you have to decide what you think. But I have found, watching sitcoms, watching TV with English, listening to music can be helpful. But Robin and I definitely both agree that you have to read. You must read and you must, well, try your best to practice with native speakers, practice learning with native speakers. Okay, let's see. Nico, I believe Robin is answering this question for you. Is there any suggestion or idea about changing passive English to active English? Okay, and I'll take a look at what Robin said and see if I would add anything. Yeah, and I think, Robin, thank you so much for your help. Um, as he said, I'm going to also try to elaborate a little bit, tell you a little bit more about that, Nico. In the passive voice, the subject comes first, okay? I would say in most cases, you should use the active voice. For example, I kicked the ball, right? I'm the subject and I come first. Whereas the passive voice, the object comes earlier in the sentence. For example, the ball was kicked by me. You can see that that's not really common. Why would we say that instead of I kicked the ball? However, sorry, I'm gonna reposition. However, passive voice is used commonly when the object is more important. For example, the concert was shut down, right? In that case, the concert is the object, because we don't know. It's not important who shut it down, right? But what's important is that the concert, the object of the sentence, was shut down. Maybe because of bad weather, maybe there was some kind of technical difficulties. In that case, the concert, the object of the sentence, is more important. It's not important who did it. That's why the passive voice is used. You'll also notice that in the news, in newspapers, in articles, often in those situations, the passive voice is used. For example, again, city destroyed by tornado, right? The city is the object and the tornado is the subject because it's doing the action. However, it's more important in that story that the city was destroyed than the fact of what the tornado did. I hope that answers your question. All right. Bilal, would you mind how to pronounce the letter R naturally and like a native? R. Let me think about where my tongue is when I use the word letter R. 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 I would say that the tongue goes up. It's close to the center of the roof of my mouth, the top of my mouth. R. And it curves. Um, I'm not sure what's the best way to um, tell you how to pronounce it besides that way. Um, naturally. Um, I, how do you pronounce your R's? It might be a little bit difficult. All I can say is maybe practice. Use words that start with the letter R. For example, rabbit, robot, rain. Go ahead and practice. I know that in some countries, the sound of R and L can be really, really similar, but notice where my tongue is when I say L. Oh, my tongue goes between my teeth. Oh, for example, light. See where my tongue is? But when I say right, R-I-G-H-T, do you see my tongue? Right. It doesn't come here. Light. So that's something you can think about. Where is your tongue when you are saying the R sound? Okay. Carno, Antonio, what time is it in your country now? Thank you for that question. It's almost 9 o'clock a.m., but not quite. It's 8:49 a.m. in the morning. What about you? What time is it in your country now? Bishal, hi. It has been a long time. I'm good. How are you? Thank you for being here today. Joanne, how can I practice with native speakers? I don't have friends who speak English at all. Thank you for asking that question because it must be frustrating, right? You hear over and over again, practice English by speaking with native speakers. Joanne, as you have mentioned, there are a lot of people from different countries living in the Philippines. Is there a way that you can look on Facebook? Or I would say Facebook is a good place to start because there are often meetups and different groups where people want to meet native Philippine or locals, right? People who live in the Philippines and grew up there. I know that there are a lot of Americans and a lot of people from English speaking countries living and working in the Philippines. I would start with Facebook, see if there are any groups that get together with foreigners from English speaking countries and locals. Or I've heard of a website about maybe it's called meetup.com. Meetup, meetup.com. I've heard that that's also a great place to get together with people who have similar hobbies. I know that when I was living in Korea, there were many meetup groups for people who wanted to learn English. So I think those are two suggestions I have. Please let me know in the future how that works out for you if you do try those suggestions. Okay, so Diego, hi. You're from Ecuador. Wow, what is Ecuador like? Okay, Catherine has a pronunciation question. Okay, um, wow, that's a great question because you're right. DU has a little bit of a different pronunciation in each of those words. So let's do the first one. Education. Isn't that interesting? The DU sounds like a D and then a YOU, right? So education. And when I say it quickly, education, education, education. Let's look at the next one. Schedule, schedule. So there, the DU is similar. It sounds like a D and then YOU. Schedule, schedule. But you'll notice when I say it quickly, I don't say schedule, schedule. It almost sounds like a J, right? It almost sounds like a JYOU, schedule. Education, schedule. And the last word, graduate, graduate. Okay, so when I say it quickly, it also sounds a little bit like a JYOU, graduate. You know what? I'm going to go back. I think education can also sound like a JYOU. So, Catherine, you brought up a really interesting question. The DU in all of these words kind of sounds like a JYOU, which I haven't thought about. So, let me go through them one more time a little bit quickly. Education, schedule, graduate. So, with the English, American English pronunciation, you can see that it sounds a little bit like a J. I hope that was helpful. And thank you, Robin, for supporting me with that answer. Let's see. Fenny asks, can was be replaced with went? For example, I was wrong and I went wrong. Fenny, in those examples, I would say no. You would not say I went wrong. You would say I was wrong when you made a mistake. Um, Maybe you might be getting confused with something like I went to the wrong place. That's the only example I can, like, kind of situation I can think of where you would use went and wrong together. Okay, Brian asks adjective plus enough. For example, the government wasn't prepared enough to, or the government wasn't enough prepared to. Which one is correct? Thank you for that question, Brian. The correct answer is your first example. The government wasn't prepared enough to help everybody in the disaster, for example, right? You are correct. You use the adjective and then enough. Thank you for your question. I hope that was helpful. Hi, Win. Long time. How are you? Mahmood, thank you for being here today. How are you? All right. Rohan. Hi, Rohan. Yes, I could pronounce these words for you. They are homonyms, which means that they are spelled differently, but they are pronounced the same. Sail, sail, right? They sound exactly the same. SAIL is pronounced sail. For example, the boat has a big sail. And SALE is also pronounced sale. I went to the sale at the department store. So they sound the same. Thank you for that question. Davika, You are from Sri Lanka, and it's 9:30 p.m. Wow. It's almost time to wind down and maybe go to bed for some people. Well, thank you for being here. And Rohan, yes, exactly. They sound almost exactly the same. I would say exactly the same, actually. Marcos, hi. Thank you for being here. Hi, Christina. Brian, I am very glad you found my answer helpful. Thank you so much for saying that, Marcos. I really appreciate your support. Well, I am ready to answer some new questions. And here's Robin. Are you excited to go to Korea? Hi, Bikram. I am very excited. It's been almost 2 years since I left, and I'm so happy to be going back. I'm very excited to go shopping, to eat some delicious food, especially. I miss Korean food. It's a little bit hard to find where I'm living. And it's a little more expensive, actually, a lot more expensive. So I miss Korean food. I'm so excited. And yeah, but I am not excited about the plane ride. Are any of you here afraid of flying? I am. I am definitely afraid of flying. So I hate that part, but I love traveling. So I guess I have to just suck it up. Have you guys heard that phrase before? It's slang. It means to just toughen up and not be scared. Or at least it's okay to be scared, but you have to do it. Okay, Vincenzo, hello. Esther, Sleepwalker asks, can you give some examples with the phrasal verb turn out? Now, Sleepwalker, Tony, I believe, could you give some examples of where you have heard that? Because there are a few examples that I can think of, and I'll share them right now, but they might not be exactly what you're thinking of. Turnout can kind of be used to talk about how many people come to an event. In that case, it would be kind of like a noun. Um, the turnout at the concert or the turnout at the party was great. That means a lot of people came. It can also be used maybe to talk about something that you didn't expect to happen, but it happened. Well, let me give you an example. Maybe there is a party and I don't want to go. I think it's going to be horrible. I don't know anybody there. Um, it's awkward, right? I'm going to go alone. I don't want to go. But I went. I went to this party and hey, it turned out to be great. I'm surprised. I didn't expect it, but it turned out that the party was really fun. Okay, so here's the example. The party turned out to be great. So you'll notice there I used the past tense, turned out to be great. I didn't expect it to be great, but it turned out to be that way. And I'm trying to think, turn out, if there are any other ways that it would be used, but let me know what you think. Does this work for you? If not, I can try to think of some other examples. Hi, I can't read that. It's a different language, but I see channel. Hi. Saidi? I'm not sure. Please let me know how to pronounce your name if I made a mistake. Please explain about work. Is it uncountable? I would say yes, it's uncountable. You would say, you don't say something like, I have many work to do, right? Because many goes with a countable noun, right? Instead, you would say, I have a lot of work to do, right? I'm busy with work. Again, you don't say, oh, I have two works. You would say, I have two jobs. You can use job, that's countable. But overall, when you use the word work, it's uncountable. Thank you for your question. Bikram, I am glad that you want to learn English, and being here is a great way to begin. And hello from Nepal. I think we've talked about that before, maybe. Megna, hi, I'm good. How are you? And thank you for being here. It has been a while. I was saying that I was out of the country for a little bit traveling. Mr. Jellybean, oop, I hope I don't use how to talk English properly. Mr. Jellybean, I think the best way is to keep practicing. I gave some advice earlier to Joanna about maybe looking on Facebook and seeing if there are any groups that work together to learn English or teach English and learn the native language wherever you may be. Marcos, have you ever written a book about studying English? That's a great question. Actually, Robin and I are currently working on a book. I'm almost done, and we're just going to work on editing it and getting it out there to help people like you. So I hope that you enjoy that book. We will update you with more information as soon as we get the ball rolling. We continue to work on it. Win, hi. Let's see. 92 jade lots were being exhibited last week. Is this verb form used? They were being exhibited. I think that's fine. I think it might be better to just say they were exhibited last week, but to say they were being exhibited is not incorrect because it was happening for a duration. It was happening for a period of time. Oh, I'm sorry, Genius Star. I realize you're Tony. Getting the names mixed up. I apologize. Can I know your time on this channel? Yes. So you can see up here. Normally at 15:30 GMT on Tuesdays. Vincenzo, phrasal verb. Yes. Kirama, hi. Thank you for being here. I am doing very well. How are you? Okay, Megna has a question. Could you please tell me the differences between go along road and go straight ahead? Megna, that's a great question. Go along the road. It's okay. So first, let's start with go straight ahead. Go straight ahead, means to go along a line, right? Go along a line, no turning, right? You go straight. However, when you're going along the road, it means that you're just going next to the road. So the road might turn, it might bend, it might curve, but it's the person who's giving these directions is just saying follow the road, even if it turns or bends. However, if the person is telling you go straight, it means don't follow the road wherever it goes, just go in that line. Okay? Robin, thank you for clarifying. I'm glad I didn't try to think of all 10. Rohan, among and amongst mean the same thing, don't they? As far as I can think, yes. However, I would say that in American English, amongst is not very common, but it's not wrong. Just not very commonly used. Sleepwalker, you are welcome. Catherine, what's the difference between constantly and consistently? Wow, that's a good question. That's actually pretty tricky because they are very, very similar. I would say, Robin, you might have to help me on this if I get this wrong, or if you want to add more. Constantly is something that just keeps happening. Usually when you say that something constantly happens, it might be, kind of out of annoyance, right? Oh, he is constantly calling me, right? He keeps doing it. He does it all the time. That might be annoying, right? Consistently doesn't have as much of a negative meaning or connotation. Consistently means something is happening at regular times, at regular intervals. So when you say that something is consistent, it means that you can rely on it to happen at the same time. For example, let's see, the sun consistently rises in the morning and the sun consistently sets at night, right? We know that it's going to happen. We know when it's going to happen, right? It's consistent. However, the sun is not constantly rising. Well, actually, it is. So constantly means it keeps going up little by little, right? It's constantly. But then after it reaches its peak, it is constantly setting. So I think I might have confused myself and you a little bit, but constantly means it just keeps happening, okay? And consistently means it happens at intervals. That might be maybe a better way of looking at it. Yes, and Marcos, I definitely agree with you and Robin that phrasal verbs are very hard. And sleepwalker, same thing. Um, okay, Mr. Jellybean, what does clown mean for a test? Mr. Jellybean, can you elaborate? Are you talking about, can you tell me a little bit more about your question? Clown, if you're just asking what does clown mean, a clown is usually a man or woman dressed up in a silly costume. Oftentimes they have a big red nose, white paint and some paint around their eyes, a funny, colorful, maybe curly haired wig, and a funny costume with big feet. And their clowns usually are meant to entertain people. If you go to like a kid's birthday party or something, there might be a clown doing magic tricks or just making kids laugh. That's what a clown is. But I'm not sure if that's what you meant. So please let me know. Joanne, how can I answer a question of my friend if I've already watched a movie? I've already seen that or I've already watched that. Are they both the same? That's a great question, a question that a lot of people have. So when you use watch or see, for movies, TV, a concert, a play, any kind of like show, you can use watch or see. So, Joanne, you can say, I've already seen that. Or you can say, I've already watched that. Both of those are correct. Again, for a TV show, movie, a concert, a play, any kind of show or performance, you can use watch or see. Sujit, hi. Okay, Vincenzo, time is uncountable, right? You are correct. So you would say much time, or you can say a lot of time, but you would not say many times. Now, okay, here is where it might be a little bit confusing. You might have heard people say, "Oh, I've been to that park many times." Have you heard that before? In that case, time becomes countable because I'm not talking about the time on the clock. I'm not talking about, what time is it? I'm not talking about that. That is uncountable. We're not talking about, minutes or hours. In that case, we would use much time, right? Much time has passed. A lot of time has passed. But when we're talking about how many times you have done something or how many times something has happened. For example, I've watched Titanic or I've watched Avatar 3 times. In that case, it's countable. So I know that's a little bit confusing. Let me know if you have any more questions about that, okay? So when you're talking about how many times you did something or how many times you have done something, in that case, it's countable. When you're talking about minutes, hours, time that passes on a clock, that's uncountable. Okay, Hoda. Ooh, I might be a little bit behind. So I again apologize if I don't get to all of your questions. Robin is helping me with that. Um, could you please explain the differences between apostrophe s and of when we use those? So you're right, that can be confusing because they are both possessive. They show ownership, right? For example, that is Tony's dog. That is Tony's dog. I put an apostrophe S after Tony to show that the dog belongs to Tony. However, in American English, we wouldn't say, that is the dog of Tony. That doesn't really it sounds a little bit awkward. You might use of to talk about maybe where someone is from. Again, I don't think that would be very common in modern English. If you ever watch the show Game of Thrones, you probably hear like, this is, Tony of Winterfell or Arya of Winterfell, right? It shows where someone is from. But maybe you can give me some examples of where you've seen that, and then I can try to elaborate. But again, we don't use of to show ownership that much these days. But maybe if I can think of an example later, or if you can, please let me know and I will explain. Fenny asks, will you sell the book? That is correct. Robin and I will work on finishing up the book and it will be for sale very soon. Sanderson, turn the radio off or turn off the radio. Both of those are correct. Either of those can be used. Hey, please turn the radio off. Or hey, turn off the radio. You can use either of those. Okay, Kiramat, all praise is to be God or all praise to God. Which one is correct? The second one is correct. All praise to God. All praise to God. Yes. Um, Sujith, can I talk to you? You can talk to me here. Robin and I are also working on maybe getting some kind of Skype lessons in the future. But because I was doing, school, because I was in school, I didn't have much time. Hopefully, I will have a little more time to do lessons one-on-one or group ones in the near future. Mr. Jellybean, what a fun question. Hamburger is how to pronounce it. Hamburger. Hamburger. Okay. Robin asks, please support the channel, guys. We would really like to continue this channel in the future, but we need more support. So yes, just a brief mention of that. We do ask that you try to support us. You can see there are links right here on ways to support us so that Robin and I can continue to make videos. As you know, I'm going to Korea, the flight, all of those things are expensive. So we hope that you will consider supporting us so that we can continue to make more. And we will be wrapping up in about 5 minutes. So let me quickly try to answer a few more questions. Oh, thank you so much for asking. Yes, in the link right here. Lily, hi. Oh, I'm sorry to hear. I hope you are okay. You say you are in the hospital. I hope everything is okay. But thank you so much for being here and saying hello. How to be initiative, Moaz, initiative and remarkable in our work for special in English. So yes, just do your best. Okay. All right. Again, if I forget or am not able to answer all of your questions, I apologize. Um, yes, you could see I'm a little bit behind. Um, yeah, so I think I'll just go to some of the last question. Um, Esther, using off of together, is that correct? For example, I fell off of the tree. Yes, in that case, that's correct, Rohan. You can say get up off the sofa and get up from the sofa. All of those sound correct. Okay, so I'm going to be saying my goodbyes now. Um, so thank you so much for joining again today. I had a great time. I love talking to you guys. I think someone asked a few weeks ago, is you guys informal? And it is. I hope that that's okay because I feel comfortable. I feel happy. I feel like I'm with my friends, and I hope it's okay that I use you guys. It doesn't. I'm just saying that to talk about everybody here. So thank you. And yeah, Mr. Jellybean, you're right. It is a little bit less than 5 minutes, but I wanted to take this time just to say thank you and to say my goodbyes. And I see, Shipon from Bangladesh, everybody here. Feni, last question, real quick. Thank you for being here. That would be the correct way to say it. Oh, it looks like Ongi wants to say goodbye. And let's see if he'll come and say bye real quick. Look, come here. Okay, well, anyway, thank you so much. I will see you again very soon. Bye. Have a great night or great day. Bye.